Alright students, in this session I'm going to show you how we can install Snort in our virtual machine. For this purpose I have Oracle VirtualBox already open, and as you can see on the screen, I have few VMs for this installation. I will be using MPC1 machine, and I will like to walk you through a few important settings of the VM, right? So click on the setting option here. The name of my machine is MPC1 advanced bidirectional copy paste is allowed. So important thing is that system processor I have given one CPU, physical CPU, and all the four cores, and the memory of this VM is actually 4 GB. And the most important option over here that I actually want you to know and understand properly is the network option. Here Oracle VirtualBox allows any VM to have four virtual adapters. Adapter 1, 2, 3, 4. Right now only one virtual adapter is actually connected to my VM. The second option is important, and that is how your virtual adapter is connected or attached to your virtual machine. There are few options over here. If you click over here, you can see a few options. I will walk you through the most important ones. One is the first one. Let's look into the NAT option. NAT stands for network address translation. It is very similar like when you actually you have a Wi-Fi network in your home and all of your machines are actually accessing internet, right? So there is one public IP address, and that public IP address, or your internet service provider IP address, that is assigned to you by the ISP. So whenever any of your machine, whether it's a mobile phone or a laptop or other desktop machine, when communicating with other network like internet, it will be using one single IP address, and that is the IP address assigned to you by the ISP. That is a NAT mod. This option is become handy particularly when we are working in a closed environment where we cannot actually attach our VM into a bridge mod. Like in university, if you connect your VM into bridge mod, I will walk you through quickly what is a bridge mod shortly. Uh, so maybe you will not able to get network services on your VM if you connect your VM into bridge mod or in your university or in your corporate network. So network address translation option is a very important option, so that if you attach your virtual adapter in a NAT mode, so you will able to use internet on your virtual machine. The second option is a bridge adapter. Adapter is very similar, like you have actually attached a physical machine to your Wi-Fi or your local area network, right? Like Ethernet. The third option is internal network. Let's suppose you want to test something and you do not want that your testing disturbs other machines on the network. So you create a internal network, right? And you attach your VM in internal network mode, right? And the fourth option is the host only adapter. This option is also important, and we use sometimes when we just want that our host operating system, like which is Windows 10 at the moment, and my VM can communicate only. So this option is also important. So right now I'm going to use a bridge adapter because I do not have any restriction in my home. Any machine can actually connect to my Wi-Fi network and be the part of the Wi-Fi network. So I'm leaving it bridge adapter, and okay, right? So let me start my VM. All right, so my VM is getting started, and I guess okay, it was shut down previously, so it will take a few minutes. Okay, so while it's booting up, let me tell you its software version. It is actually Ubuntu 22.04 LTS. LTS stands for long-term support, and this is actually server edition. It doesn't have any GUI stuff like you won't see any GUI on this VM. And in fact, the VM that I copied in in lab machine is also the same one, right? There is no GUI, and I prefer that you should also use server edition because it is more stable and it doesn't have, you know, the software that we don't need normally. All right, my VM is booted, and actually this VM is configured with the static IP address, and I guess so the static IP address of this VM is 21 192.168.0.21. I'm using putty software in order to connect with my this machine. All right, I'm using root user account. Root is basically super user on any window any Linux or Unix based system. Okay, and ll command. Okay, I already created snort underscore src software, and snort is already installed, by the way, right? But do the I'm going to actually repeat the whole process again, right? So mkdir, I'm creating a new software, a new directory like snort 2, for instance. Okay, cd snort 2, right? All right, so I'm going to follow this link in order to install Snort in my VM. Okay, the first thing is how to install Snort on Ubuntu 22.04. There are a few things that I need to do. Is first of all, I will actually run this command apt get update. And last time when I was giving lecture in the classroom, I mentioned the different I described the difference between apt dash get update command and apt dash get upgrade command. Apt dash get update command only updates a repository list from the repository server, okay, apt server, while apt dash get upgrade command actually upgrade the entire uh, set of packages, right? So I do not want to upgrade then my software versions which are currently stored. I just want to actually update my repository list. So it's done now. The second step is we need to install some dependencies because we are building is not from the source code, right? This is the first time as I showed you in the class that we build Snort and compile this Snort from the source code. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. So in order to do that, I need to install a few packages like GCC, G++ compiler, C compiler, C++ compilers, and other dependencies and other required packages. So I am copying it. Let me copy this entire command over here, and I'm pasting it, right? So since everything was already installed, so nothing actually needed to be done. But when you will execute this command on your VM, it will take a bit of time because it will be updating few softwares and it will be installing few softwares for the very first time. All right. So the second step is creating a directory. I have created a directory called Snort, which is actually in my root directory, and I'm already in this directory, right? Great. Fine. The third step is we need to basically download and install data acquisition library, right? So I'm going to basically clone this GitHub repository. Now, meanwhile, it's getting cloned. Let me tell you what is a DAC library, data acquisition library. So DAC library is basically a new library that is was introduced in Snort version 2.9, and that library is actually a sort of, you can say that it introduces a abstraction layer between Snort and the libpcap. Previously, before Snort version 2.9, right, the Snort actually uses direct call to the libpcap library, right, in order to get access to the packets, right? So this abstraction layer allows you this abstraction layer allows us to basically have different packet capturing library while maintaining one single consistent abstraction layer. Right? This is a required package that we must have to store. So this package is cloned now, right? So we can go through. Let me go to this directory cd libdac, and here you will see few files over here. There is an important file like readme. I'm going to open it, and it gives you some explanation, some description of this library as well, right? So mostly in all the Linux software that you build from source code, there's a readme file or there's a stall file, right? That actually contains all the instructions, all the necessary instructions and steps how you should actually install the software, right? So first of all, I am going to use configure command. Let me, yeah, I need to basically I actually there's one more utility, that is a bootstrap utility. Let me run that utility as well, right? And once the bootstrap utility will finish, I will actually run .configure command. Okay, so I'm here. Okay, so this configure command actually configure all the basic settings like the uh, prerequisites like where we will be installing this library, how and what sort of libraries it actually needed, and if there are any explicit requirement to install to include header files or to link library files. So we can actually configure all these things in the configure command. And once the configure command gets successfully executed, it actually create a make script, right? And here you might see the make file. This is actually the recipe. This is actually a recipe for the compiler, right? So the second command is a make is actually a command that actually build or compile the source code. It will take a bit of time. It depends upon your speed of the machine. And when this compilation will get completed, right, I will actually execute command make install. Make install will actually install the newly built software. Okay, the compilation is completed, so I'm going to install now. Okay, done. So my data acquisition library is successfully installed in my machine, right? Great. Okay, the second step is I need to basically install another package, that is gperf tools. Okay, gperf is a Google thread caching performance and related tools, so we have to install this software as well. I'm uh, getting myself up level, like I have used cd command to basically move to the parent directory, and here I'm going to actually getting this source code for the gperf tools with the help of wget command. Wget command is actually a very handy command in Linux, and you can actually get files from servers. Okay, it's already available now, it's downloaded. So let me uncompress it, untar -xzf gperf tool. Okay, done. Now I'm going to enter this directory so that I can also install gperf tools, right? Now I'm in this directory, and here we have, see, you can see there are different files. Again, there's a readme file. If I open readme file, it gives you some brief description uh, about the library and the details. And here you might see some install file as well. Install file actually will contain some instructions how you can actually install this library, right? So there is nothing special, right? I just need to execute these three commands: .configure, make, and make install. Configure, and now I'm just compiling it. All right, the compilation of gperf tools is completed. Now I'm going to install it. Alright, installation is also done. Alright, the last important software is actually the source code itself. This is the Snort source code. Again, I'm going level up. Okay, and here I'm going to download this Snort source code. Okay, students, the downloading of Snort is completed. So let me unzip this package. Okay, so the package is unzipped. It's not now. I'm going to enter it's not 3-master directory. Here we have the source code and everything. So the first command that I need to actually execute in order to install Snort is .configure underscore cmake.sh prefix user local and enable tmalloc. Let me execute this command again. Shift insert. Yeah. Okay, so the configuration is done. The next command that we have to use is, as you can see the output on this screen as well, right? The next command is I have to enter cd build directory and then make install, right? So cd build and here make -j4. Now it will take a few minutes to get it compiled. Once it is compiled, then I will install it. Okay, Snort is compiled successfully on my machine, and now I will actually install Snort. Okay, I'm executing ld-config command in order to update the dynamically linked library cache. Okay, and now our Snort is compiled successfully and installed as well, and it's ready to use now. I'm going to execute the first command snort minus capital V, and it will actually tell us the version of the Snort, right? So this version is 3.1.8.4.84.0, right? And it is using DAC version 3.0.14. It's using Lua JIT version. It's 2.1.0-beta 3, OpenSSL version 3, IPK version 1.10.1, PCRE, zlib, LZMA, etc. So our Snort is ready. It means that our Snort is successfully compiled and installed on our machine. Now, the next step is how we can actually run the Snort, right? So this is very simple, right? If I just execute Snort command, okay, it will actually give us a help message, right? What do you want to do? So I'm going to execute this command Snort space -c, and then let me first of all copy this command, right? So I have copied that file, that command, and here I'm going to execute this command. Okay, so what this command will actually do, this is the name of the binary file. It means it's not compiled binary file, executable file. -c option specifies a configuration file that Snort will be using in order to start its operation, and this is actually the path or the actual path plus name of the configuration file. Now if I execute this command, so let's see how it does. Okay, so it says that, fine, let me go through. It's not version 3.1.84. Okay, this is loading. It's not.lua file, which is a config file. Loading is not underscore defaults.lua. Finish is not underscore default.lua loading. Okay, and all these modules have been loaded. Finish user local etc is not.lua. Loading file underscore id dot rules dot underscore files, loading file underscore magic dot true. So all the by default rules have been also loaded. IPS policy rule stats ID 0 loaded to 08, and for some further detail. So this is the overall installation, compilation, building and installation process of Snort. Now the next thing that we can work is, okay, we can take Snort help with minus minus help command, or we can type Snort space minus question mark. And I think that's all. The next step will be how we can configure Snort.